Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're going to be installing electronic shifting onto the Poseidon Redwood. But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content on this channel. So behind me, we got the good old Poseidon Redwood here. A gravel bike. I love this bike. I love the way it rides. I love everything about it. And we're going to be doing a big upgrade to it today and trying something I've never actually tried before, ever. I don't think I've ever tried electronic drivetrains, ever. I've messed with them like on a stand, but I've never actually ridden one for myself, and I've never installed one for myself. So before we get into what we're installing today, let me talk about what's on here currently. So the Redwood comes with the Microshift Advent X drivetrain here. I really like the drivetrain on here. There's nothing wrong with the Microshift Advent X. I love it. I run on my mountain bikes. No problems at all. Along with the drivetrain, we're also going to be replacing the brakes on this. We're going to be going a full hydraulic brake. So right now this has the Tektro 2-piston calipers on here, mechanical, and they work good as well. Nothing wrong with them. Ever since we did that brake upgrade with the center pads, they've been amazing. No issues, no problems at all. We're just making some big leaps and bounds here on the gravel bike, on the Redwood, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. So, just want to start off with that. Nothing on this bike is wrong. All the stuff on it works great. We just have the opportunity to test something really cool and really new and see how it all works. To try something we've never done before and something that may interest a lot of you guys. So, let's get into what we have today. So, in this box here, we have a full setup from the guys over at Wheeltop. And in here, open this all up here. So in here, we got some nice boxes, and I'll say their packaging is on point for this stuff. So first we got in here, this is going to be our full hydraulic disc brakes here. We're not going to be installing that in this video. It's going to be another video. In this video, we're mainly going to be focused on the electronic drivetrain. We're going to do a full video setting up the hydraulic disc brakes on this as well. So full hydraulic disc brakes in there. Comes with the bleed kit for the hydraulic disc brakes as well. And then the part you guys are waiting for right here. We got, putting that guy up. We got the Wheeltop EDS GeX here. So this is their gravel group set. So they have three different setups. They have their mountain bike one, pretty basic, has pretty much a shifter and a derailleur, pretty easy. They also have a road bike version, which is very similar to this, but slightly different, and this is going to be the gravel version here. So again, like I said, this whole packaging situation is like on point. So you got the sleeve, slides right off here. Gotta pull that off. We're gonna set that off to the side. And then right here, you got a box. And we just lift the top off of this box, just like so. Inside of here, you got your quality control sticker. You have a nice like foam mat, keeping everything protected. And you have the welcome notice here. Congratulations, you have the EDS GeX, a smart wireless electronic transmission from the future. So this is controlled by an app, so you need to download the app, of course, and then install it according to the manual, and then adjust it according to the manual instructions in the app, essentially, and then just enjoy your ride from there. Pretty cool. So let's get to the fun stuff here. So let's set these off to the side. So inside of our box here, we got our brifters here. So these are just the alloy brifters. Let's go ahead and open one up. So there is our brifter there. So looks pretty similar to what you find on a normal road bike. Normal road bike, drop bar bike, anything like that. Pretty cool. Looks about normal. This is a hydraulic disc brake lever. So it does have a disc brake. There's actually the side right there where the disc brake hose goes. And then on the side here are your buttons. So it has just buttons instead of a lever to shift. So we have one button here and then your smaller button right up there to shift the derailleur. So left side looks almost identical. This one just has one button. I'm not quite sure what the one button's for, but it just has one single button on here that you can push. And then same deal, full hydraulic disc brake lever. So looks pretty cool. Just a black lever here. We'll get these cleaned up a little bit, get the sticky stuff off of here, and should be pretty cool. I'm not quite positive what this lever does on this side, but we'll figure that out. Then we get to the part that's probably the coolest here, and that's going to be the rear derailleur. So here's our electronic derailleur here. So you'll notice there is no cables, nothing, nowhere to put a cable because this is a full wireless setup here. So full wireless, Has a non-removable battery on here, so you can't take the battery off to charge it, carry your spare. You don't do that. It just has a charging port built in. And then this comes with a pretty long charging cable here, and it's a magnetic charger, so it just attaches there and charges. We'll see how long it actually lasts for, but it has that built in there. It does not have a removable battery like some other setups do, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I believe it's supposed to have enough shifting to really not need you to take it off very often. So that's our rear derailleur there. If we go ahead and grab our front, our shifter here, if we go ahead and we start to click some of these gears, it will move the derailleur. That is so cool. Just right out of the box. It's paired, ready to go on. Like, what the heck? That is so cool. And there are little indicator lights on both. So on the shifter, it's right up at the top. You can see a little green light kick on. And then the rear derailleur has it right on the inside. There, you guys might be able to see it. It's very hidden. So we're going to be throwing these onto this setup here. It's going to be great. Getting rid of all the cables. Getting rid of it all. Putting all wireless on here. So, put this off to the side for a moment because we're not quite at that point yet. First thing we got to do is get over to this bike and we got to strip it of anything cables. So, rear derailleur's got to go. We've got to pop our quick link off our chain, wherever that is. Pull the rear derailleur off, pull the cable all the way out, put the new derailleur on here, yada yada, put it back. We also have to take off all of our brakes as well. We're going to do this kind of all at the same time, but like I said, it's going to be 2 separate videos. One's going to be all about the electronic shifting. The other part's going to be all about the hydraulic disc brakes. So we got to remove everything cable on here. Got to remove our levers up here. Going to be kind of a pain because we got to do the bar tape, but that's okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We'll survive. Let's get right on this. I'm going to start with the derailleur. We'll pull this derailleur off, pull the chain off, install the new derailleur on here. That way it's there. And then we kind of move up onto the levers and the brakes from that point. So rear derailleur, pretty simple. We just got to find wherever our master link is, which is right here at the bottom. We've got to take our chain off in order to get the rear derailleur off. So we'll go ahead and pop our pliers in there, pop that master link open, and we will get that guy disconnected and try not to do what I just did. All right, so that's really all we have to do to get the chain off because we don't really need to touch the front. After that, we just get our Allen key. We're going to have to go ahead to loosen our cable out here. Got our cable off. And then we just need to, this is a 5. Yep, 5 right here. And we just got to take out the derailleur bolt here. There we go. So there's our Advent X rear derailleur off. Cable we don't need anymore. We'll get that off in just a moment here. But derailleur, it's off. Now we have a spare Advent X to put on something. Ooh, okay. Put that down. Let's grab our new rear derailleur here. Grab our Allen key. Gonna push that up out of the way for the moment. And this is still 5mm. And where's this guy? Okay, that guy wants to go right there. Okay, so we just got to thread our new derailleur on here. Go ahead, we'll kind of pull our chain back down here. Let's feed it on through our new derailleur here. Make sure we get it fed in correctly so we're not rubbing on any of the metal crossbars. Okay, we got our derailleur fed through there. We got to get our quick link back on here, ready to go back together. Quick link back on. You know what? We could actually test this out right now. Just realized that. So that's on there. So if we obviously, hold up. Obviously not adjusted properly because we haven't even gone through the app yet, but I just wanted to see how it looks. And we're going to be careful. Especially right there. Wow. Yeah, next up is taking everything off of the bars. All right, so new day today. We ran out of time the other day kind of working on this, but we did get our EDS disc brakes installed on here, and we got our drifters all installed on here as well. So these are all actually installed on the bike, ready to go. Pretty much we just got to wrap the bars. So that's gonna come. It's gonna come later. I need bar wrap is on its way. So we're pretty much at the point where we need to adjust this rear setup here. So a lot of that comes through the Wheeltop app. Is going to be a lot of the adjustments here. So pretty much I went into the app and I adjusted it, set up for 10 speeds. That's what this is. It's the Advent X, which is a 10-speed drivetrain system. And at the point right now, if I go and shift through this, 3, 4, it doesn't really go to 5. So it's pretty much off a gear. There's pretty much our top. That's gear 10, and we are only in our 9th gear up. So we're kind of missing our top gear here. So I kind of messed around a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I messed around with the app a little bit before I ran out of time last time, trying to figure out why it won't go up all the way. And I found if you push, if you go and push just like you would, your normal derailleur, it goes all the way up. It'll go up all the way up, no problem at all. And normally with a cable drivetrain, you would just tighten the cable up and that would help you push all the way up. Obviously, it doesn't have a cable. So I kind of was lost a little bit on what I had to do to get this to work. So I went ahead and I found the manual. I found the manual online, went on their website, downloaded the manual, and it gives you a whole guide on transmission calibration, which is the rear derailleur. They call it the transmission. So on here, they give you essentially 3 steps to go for. Number 1 is actually the initial calibration of the rear derailleur. So there are limit screws on this. I was looking for them, couldn't find them. There's even a sticker right under here that says adjust the trim screws. And I could not find the trim screws. That's because they're hidden. I'll show you where those are. So first up, we got to adjust the trim screw for the bottom to get that lined up with the smallest gear. So I think that's what we got to do first, is get that aligned. Once we get that aligned, maybe it'll shift all the way up. So we have to mess with that some. Once we do that, then we can go ahead into the app and actually start calibrating it in the app. And hopefully that's where we can kind of get things to work the way they're supposed to, or kind of get it to shift up all the way up to the top, hopefully. Once we get that set, then we can go in and actually do some trimming on it. Trim very, very light trimming and adjust each single gear from there. So let me get you guys closer. I'll show you where the where the limit screws are on this. I would not have known unless I looked in the manual here where the limit screws are. So come on closer, I'll show you where they are. So there is actually a sticker right underneath here that says adjust trim screws, and it kind of points that way. And so I looked that way, I couldn't find anything. Little I know, this little tiny bolt here is securing a cover over the trim screws. So supposedly, if we undo this little bolt, undo this little tiny screw here, which is pretty decently long. Wow. Okay. Supposedly, if we undo that, this cover should come off. Should. Yep, there we go. That cover comes off, and yep, there's our high and low limit screws right in there. Okay, suppose you just tighten these up just like you would a normal limit screw. Yep, and it moves that derailleur some. Let's try right there. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, we gotta download the app. So this is the Wheeltop app here. So we've got it adjusted to the point where it rides really good initially on this first gear, and it can shift up to the next one really smooth. For the most part. Hey, we got it. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Goes to. The coolest part is I can hold this button down and it will go as fast as it can. So yeah, woo! We got them all. So pretty much what you got to do is you got to go into the app here. So into the Wheeltop app. Got to connect it to your rear derailleur. And then in here you go into gear shift. And pretty much it'll pull up your gear shifts there. And then from there, you have to adjust each one of these gears individually. So down here at the current gear value, you're pretty much going to plus or minus. So what I did, if it wasn't going up to the next gear, I tried adding like 20. And if that didn't work, I'd add another 10. And then kind of doing smaller increments from there till it went into the gear. No problems. Didn't make any noise when it was in the gear. And that seems to work. I'll tell you, when I got to the top 2 gears on here, so the largest gears, it started to get upset and started saying like, that's outside the range. But that, if you want to accept the risk, do that. So I did it because it needed to go up that high. Once I had that calibrated all the way for each and every single gear, so it did take a little bit of time. Not a huge like effort wise, but it did take a little bit of time. Once I had it all set up, it shifts through nice and smooth. And honestly, it's kind of nice because you can trim and adjust each individual gear itself. So if you have a gear that's being a pain in the butt, you can mess with just that one gear and get it lined up perfectly. For now, I kind of just went to whole numbers and it seems to work okay. Nice and quiet. It's a very foreign sound to hear this coming from the rear of your bike. Doesn't make any sense. That's a foreign sound on a bike. Used to it being all mechanical. Okay. So now that we have that, so here's where you can set what each button does. So you can change that. So right now, big lever on the right side is set to go up in the rear. Little side on the on the right lever is to go down, and then the big on the left side is to go down on the rear as well. I think we'll leave it like that. That works. That seems to work pretty good. There's a little screw hiding back here. So that's going to limit your high side to make sure it doesn't overshift. Okay, so we've got our low side set already, so we can actually put the cover back on that if we wanted to. We will in a second, but we need to get, I'm assuming it's the same size, go all the way up. So you can see right now, if we were to push this, it's going to go over and shift over into the spokes. I already did that once with this. When I was messing around with it. So what we need to do is come back here to that limit screw, and we need to tighten that guy up to the point where it won't go over anymore. Just pretty much to the point where it's tight. Let's see how that does. So it's tight right now. Yeah, that doesn't want to move. Okay. Let's make sure that's still lets us stay in that gear. Okay. And if we push our derailleur, okay, yep, that is as far as we're going to go there. So right now it says the battery's at 40. So it dropped pretty quick because this said it was at 60. I think when I started messing with this, it was at 70. I was going through a lot of shifts to get it to be happy where it is now. Anything else we need to do here? Yeah, I think that's it for setting it up. Well, we need to put the cover back on. Let's do that and make it look pretty. So one of the things on this is it does have like a casual mode and then a competitive mode. So I kind of want to see what the difference is. So let's go shift. Okay. So there's the casual mode, and then coming down. Okay. And then if we turn this to competitive mode, well, in this mode, power consumption of the device will increase. Okay, let's switch to competitive mode. Whoa! Okay. Okay. I like competitive. That's pretty cool. We're going to put it back on leisure for the moment, though. So there's actually a screen in here that'll work as a cycling computer, I guess you could say. It's even got a map that you can use as a map. And there's your number. So 60% number of shifts remaining, 11,760. If we shift right, well, I can shift from right here on the screen. Let's see. It goes down in real time. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then same thing on the original screen. On the home screen, you can see the battery life, 60%. You can see the voltage in the shifters, which are just a little like 2032 battery. The little coin batteries, the ones everyone's worried about your kid choking on. So you can see everything here. It doesn't go around. So you can see everything there. You can add more devices. This is pretty cool. I like it. Okay. So let's we go check the weather, make sure it's not snowing, and let's go try this thing out outside. I want to go see how it actually feels. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. That's awesome. It's really clean. No cables here. Let's go test stuff out. See how we like it all for now, and then, you know, of course, we'll give a longer term review after we've ridden it for a while. But let's at least go test it out for now and see how it works. Okay. Let's try some shifting out here. That is very responsive. I will say buttons versus levers are very interesting. You're used to the whole lever moving, you know, or the little paddles moving, you know, drag and drop bars for so long with, you know, your normal style thing on there. But these ones, they don't really move, you just push them. They shift really nice though, like really smooth. Oh. Let me do that again. That was nuts. It's like it just came to a stop. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, the whole lever moved. I did not tighten these all the way, very obviously. Whoops. The brakes work amazing. Holy smokes. The brakes were crazy. I didn't tighten my levers all the way. I wasn't sure if I wanted them right here, or I want to turn them in, or where I want them yet. So, holy crap. Those brakes, man. Shifting, brakes, jeez. This thing is awesome. Big improvement to this bike. Holy crap. Alright, it is starting to snow. My hands are utterly frozen. Let's go talk about these. Let's go finish with my thoughts on these, on the installation, and then we'll, of course, like I said, a long-term review coming after that. All right, so we got it installed, got the brakes bedded in, tested this out on the road, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'm giving my thoughts on this, my initial thoughts. I'm going to split this into 2 sections. We're going to talk about the brakes, and we're going to talk about the electronic shifting itself. The brakes, holy crap. So these EDS disc brakes here, full hydraulic brakes, wow. Holy smokes. I just barely got them bedded in, and they are incredible. You lock those brakes up, it'll stop that bike on a dime. Like, what the heck? I've had mechanical brakes on this bike for almost 2 years now. 1 year that was with non-compressionless housing, the other year was with compressionless housing. The compressionless housing made a big difference. Holy smokes, this makes a huge difference going to full hydraulics on this bike. Wow. That's all I can say. They're amazing. I love the hydraulic brakes that come with this kit. They're just those as an upgrade themselves are totally worth this kit. Now, let's move on to electronic shiftings. So the Wheeltop GeX setup on here with the electronic shifting for the rear derailleur for a gravel bike. It's good. I can't complain. It's really good. It shifts really fast. You guys see, if you put it into competition mode, it shifts even faster. And while, yes, for a setup was slightly frustrating, it takes a little bit of effort to get set up and just figure out how everything works on it. Once you have it set up, it works really good. If you're used to setting up, as most of us are used to setting up mechanical derailleurs, it's kind of a total different thought process than setting up a mechanical derailleur, other than your high and low limit screws. Everything else completely different because you can adjust each gear individually on there. It's it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What we're going to do now is I'm going to plug this bike in and charge the bike. Funny you say that. It's not an e-bike. But I need to charge the rear derailleur up all the way. As you guys saw, it's like a 60%. I got it. It was like at 70. And, you know, through all the trial and error of trying to figure out how to get that all to work, we dropped about 10%. Can't say I didn't shift a million times because I did. So we've got to charge that up. But I'm going to see how long this lasts. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys a full long-term review on this. I really got to put some miles on this bike here. It's got to stop snowing. It started snowing on our test ride there. But we're going to do a long-term review on this. See how it goes. Obviously, we have a lot of big stuff coming up. We're doing races on this bike this year. We're doing the Sea Otter Classic gravel race. We're going to go do Granduro on this bike. Might do some other stuff during the summer. Still kind of planning stuff out. So we're going to take this thing through some paces, as well as just my normal riding I do with this bike. It's going to get put through its paces some. So I'm excited to get this thing out on the road. Obviously waiting on bar wrap. Once I get the bar wrap, I'm going to get my levers exactly where I want them to be, and we'll wrap the bars. And then I can actually take it for a ride. That should be here in the next couple days. And then I can actually ride it, you know, without my hands freezing off, and actually comfort on the bars. So ultimately, for a pretty budget electronic shifting setup, I mean, right now, the GeX, this is February, we're filming this, and you should see this in February. You should see this about like a week after I film this. Right now, it is on sale for $559. Normally $600, and that's for, let's see, let's do the exact one I have here. The 93mm rear derailleur, hydraulic disc brakes, and the aluminum shifters. Yep, $559. That's kind of unbelievable for that price. Full hydraulic disc brakes, you get the hoses, you get brifters, and you get a new derailleur that's capable of anything from a 3-speed up to a 13-speed. It's hard to beat that. I mean, I've priced stuff out for this bike to look for, even when we talk about like a microshift sword setup. That's ridiculously, that's close to the same price for the sword setup, and that's not hydraulic disc brakes. That's still running mechanical disc brakes. So that's pretty crazy. Price-wise, you get a huge bang for the buck with this setup. Holy crap. Yeah, that's... I keep saying that holy crap, but yeah, really, that's it. They even have a carbon shifter version for $599. So if you guys want a electronic drivetrain system for your bike to clean it up some, this bike does look really clean without that on there. Without a third cable, cable coming up here, feeding through the frame and going all the way back to the rear derailleur and looping back there, it looks really clean. And I'm betting I'm not really worried about battery life at the moment. I feel like if I charge it fully up and use it and then charge it before any kind of big event I go to or big race or anything, it should last. Should last fine. You can check the battery life on your app all the time. You can't get any better bang for the buck, honestly. This is by far the best bang for the buck you can get. I'm going to do a long-term review, like I said. But if you're looking for an upgrade for your group set and you want to go full hydraulic brakes and electronic shifting, check out the Wheeltop EDS GeX for your gravel bike. They also have an option for your road bike and your mountain bike if you want to do that. I've seen people review both of those. I want to try the gravel bike setup here. I think it's going to be awesome. So big thanks to Wheeltop for sending me out a whole group set here so I can test it out and let you guys know what I think. Really cool. Appreciate them. I'm going to have a link in the description down below so you guys can check them out for yourselves. Pick one up. Give them some love. They're sending me this awesome kit to show you guys so you guys can see what kind of awesome technology is out there for your bike. If you guys enjoyed the video or at least learned something today, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering any questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.